Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Convo live with RE and Chosen. Special guest Frederick Sparkman. Frederick, you like FD or Frederick?
Either or, they both sound cool.
All right, awesome. Good morning. Thank you for joining.
Good morning, y'all.
Today's topic is going to be useless pursuits. Hmm. Mm. Useless pursuits.
Useless.
All
Yeah,
right.
the you.
Now, and if you
Useless.
missed last week's topic was about loyalty. And for our recap, Chosen.
So we talked about loyalty last week, as she just said. Um, Talked about some of the misconceptions of loyalty, what you think was wrong with the wrong type of loyalty. Yeah, as y'all know, as an artist, I go into one of the parts of it is like, you know, uh, staying down with your camp. You know, you don't switch up sides because um, maybe your camp hasn't acquired this resource or it hasn't reached this level. But whenever you switch up and start going to other places to try to get what one camp has that the other one does not, where's your loyalty at? Well, we stay down with us whenever we trying to grow and we trying to build. You know what I mean? And if you sit up here, you switching and leaving and stuff like that, you know what? Where's the loyalty? You know, you look shifty. We talked about loyalty in other aspects, and as humans, as you humans have relationships and all different things like that, which is like the best. That's the one thing that we always come across is the loyalty in relationships. I made the statement. Like the food chain. There's always a bigger fish. There's always somebody that look better than your woman.
Mhm.
Somebody that look better than your man, or they might have a lot of different things going for them, and they might have your significant other might be down right now, and then you go out there and you meet this other person that's up and they're different. That's where loyalty kicks in. We sit up there, we talked about a lot of that if you didn't tune in, and I really want to say, hey, we encourage y'all to tune in and we encourage y'all to chime in because that's what this is. It's a conversation. Coffee and convo. Speaking of coffee, reach over here, you know what I'm saying? Grab a little
Okay,
sip of the
so
spirit bomb. But that's your recap from last week. Loyalty.
loyalty.
Like that.
Okay, so as I said, this week's topic is going to be useless pursuits. Now, useless pursuits, FD is going to lead with that one on what was that you stated? Pursuing a married person.
Well, I was saying that to pursue a thing is to try to find a way to obtain it, to gain it, or anything like that. But in the pursuing of anything, a useless pursuit is pursuing something that's going to cause you harm in the long run or cause you harm in any other way. So pursuing a married person, well, we know that's going to end, it ain't going to end well.
No,
When
it's
you
not.
pursue anything, it's not going to end well as long as what you're pursuing is not something that's going to benefit you. Most people have this idea that, okay, it could come from an inferiority complex or something. It's like back in the day, I know most of y'all are too young, but back in the day, it used to always be about the brain and the brawn. So I decided that I was going to pursue the brain and the brawn aspect of it. I had the brains, but I didn't have any brawns. And so I pursued the brawn. And what you learn is as you pursue this thing that you want so bad, you got it in your head, this glorious thing that you're about to achieve because it's something that you want to do. But is that thing that you're trying to achieve because of bad motivations or good motivations? If it's something you're trying to achieve by
Mm.
stepping on other people, then you're going to have issues. If it's something that you're trying to achieve by making yourself look better than other people and be bigger than you want to, bigger than you really are outside of your, I would say, self-imposed reality. Because everything that we do is based on self-perception. So if I perceive myself as weak, I want to appear to be strong. If I appear to be dumb, then I want to learn how to be smart. So everything is based on your self-perception. We pursue that which appeases our version of our self-perception. You don't pursue anything that has to do with anybody else's perception. You pursue your own. So if you think you're ugly, you pursue being beautiful. If you think you're weak, you pursue being strong. If you think that you're loud, well, most people like being loud, so I guess I can't go with that one. But you get the gist of the idea.
Okay.
Pursue that has no actual value, it hurts you more than it helps you.
Now, isn't there a proverb about useless pursuits?
Yeah, one of them is never pursue being wealthy or rich, because it brings many hurts with it. You're not supposed to pursue another person's mate, because that's going to bring a whole lot of stuff to it as well. I mean, there are so many things that you can pursue that will hurt you. They call it kicking against the pricks.
Kicking?
Does that make sense?
No, kicking it, what?
Kicking against the pricks.
Okay.
Okay,
All
you
right.
got a thorn bush, right?
Okay.
And you're wearing sandals. You going to go over there and get mad and kick the thorn bush?
I would hope not.
Well, that's basically what people do. When they're doing something that hurts them, they're kicking against the pricks. I know this is hurting me. I'm addicted to hurting myself, so I'm going to keep kicking this thorn bush. Most people don't know what that means, but I thought I'd throw that analogy out there for you. So imagine yourself kicking a thorn bush. That's what you do when you pursue something that is going to hurt you.
Okay. So useless pursuits is basically, in a nutshell, going after something that you know is going to hurt you in the long run.
Yeah, kicking against the pricks.
Interesting. Okay. And as we were talking before the show, we said that included going after married people. That included, now that will also include a career path as well, right?
Yeah, it will. I mean, one of the biggest problems that I've learned is I was pursuing the money and management. Well, what I found out, I was losing my soul. As I was getting the money and trying to move higher up in management, I was losing my soul. And these people, you got to remember, everything is about the business, is bottom line. It's not about the people. So they're telling you to screw over your people, to take this from them. They won't give them a raise, even though they deserve it. And you're supposed to go back and give these people the company line, not the truth, the company line. And you're supposed to try to get them to buy into the lie that they want you to sell. Now, how are you going to do that when you don't believe in what you're saying? And people know when you don't believe in what you're saying.
Good morning, LaShonda. Okay, so with that, how about if you're already in a relationship and it's going awry? Would you consider that a useless pursuit, to keep trying to make something work that clearly is showing it's not?
Yeah. I mean, you can't take a square peg and put it in a round hole.
See, I'm mentioning useless pursuits, but this is really tying into your also cutting slings. Okay.
Yeah. Well, in everything you do, you got to cut slings. It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes to loyalty, when it comes to child support, when it comes to everything we spoke about, you got to cut slings. So cutting slings ties into everything.
Well, what you just said, I would have to say, okay, I agree, but there's something that I think that comes before that.
Okay.
When you go into the terms of a relationship, you have to have it once proved to you, to yourself, that pursuit is useless. You have to have that proved to yourself that it's, okay, this is pointless, because when you're in a relationship, maybe that person was, you were in a place where you heard the songs, some of the songs where, remember, where do we go from here?
Yes.
Do we keep on on trying,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, like that. Because at one point in time, you seen the strength of this person and you seen them in their best, and you wonder where it went. You wonder, can they get back to that? And until you prove to yourself, or until it's proven to you that that it can't be, then that's when you determine that it's useless, and that's when you shouldn't pursue anymore. So you're not wrong with that when you're saying, when it comes to relationships, do you do that? You have to first prove to yourself, and it has to be shown to you that it's useless first. Once you do that, then yeah, that's when you need to get disciplined and be like, all right, man, this is pointless, and I'm kicking the pricks.
And kicking the pricks. Now we're
you
saying not to pursue anything that is harmful, bringing harm to you.
Will bring harm to you if you pursue that, and
yes, it will.
And it ain't. That will definitely bring harm to you because, What you say, Frederick? Oh yeah, it do. It does. So you
child support. you have something you want to say about child support? Hold on. You have something you want to say about child support there, Frederick? Let's hear it. A useless pursuit.
So if you're in this relationship and you know it's not working, and the amount of time that you spend invested in that relationship produces a child. Mm-hmm. Okay, now you're in a relationship that you want out of, but you have a child to consider. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to try to pursue this relationship to make it work for the child.
That doesn't work.
Which is going to make you miserable.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. It's a useless pursuit. Now you just took that useless pursuit, and then now it's a lifelong process. Because now you're paying child support. Mm-hmm. And the child is mad at you because you're not there.
Working. Money. We need to build this home.
Well, you can't build a home when you got two different homes. And then two different states.
This is true.
You got two different ways of parenting.
This is true. This is really true. Okay.
Life is a highway. Because that's what you're going to be on, trying to see your child.
I think he's a little disappointed that he missed that topic with us, Chosen. I think he had a lot to say.
Yeah, of course he would. I would imagine. What's up, sis? Good morning, LaShonda. I was a time bomb waiting to just explode on that one, so I better steer clear of this one. Right.
Okay, so back to the useless pursuits, because this show is all about helping people, and we're doing our best to try to. We're doing our best to try to help them elevate, and not only them, ourselves as well. And what I was saying is, useless pursuits are those things that we're going after that's going to harm us in the long run. Okay. Sometimes we don't have that vision of what's going to happen in the long run. So how would we know that you disagree? Why do you disagree?
There is not one thing you've ever done in your life that you didn't think, okay, this is going to get me in trouble, or this is going to end well. This is, oh man, I don't know. I got a feeling about this. I know this ain't right, but I keep doing it, and I know this ain't going to end well. You always know. You get an inkling. You get a feeling. You get a premonition.
I was about to say intuition. Yeah, you had that. Go ahead.
How many sitcoms, how many shows, how many movies have you seen that have the same scenarios of the things that you may have think? There's nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? If you sit up there, like we just take a page out like Fast and Furious movies, okay? We know that Dominic Toretto and them is about to sit up here and go rob the dude that robbed the dude that owns Brazil. Like, you're gonna go rob this dude that owns Brazil and not factor in the fact, hey, we just might go to jail. We just might go to prison for the rest of our lives. Or one of us just might wind up dead. You know what I'm saying? So you see the outcomes there. It's just that, hey, you calculate the risk. Is the risk worth doing this job or whatever? Now, yes, those are those happen. Those movies are like fictitious, but the same, but what the reality kicks in is you think about that, you factor that in. Like, we'll go back to what Frederick said was like pursuing like a woman pursuing a married man, right? Okay, how many fatal attractions? How many snapped? How many hand that rocks the cradles have you seen where you did not factor in that when this person find out about this, that stuff is going, you ain't finna go, you know what I'm saying? It's not finna just be all peaches and cream. You know, you seen that, so you cannot sit up and be like, I didn't know this was gonna happen. You didn't have like one or two homegirls to tell you, you better leave that man alone. You better stop doing that. So you know about that. That is a useful pursuit. And in the end of the day, if it winds up going the way
But
that
what
they
about
said
the
it,
ones that
you
have
laying down
work?
talking about you lay in the hospital bed with a bullet wound in your shoulder. She told me I ain't listening.
Thin line between love
Yeah, yeah.
and hate.
Exactly. I don't know how I
Uh,
didn't put that one in there.
Yeah, thin line between love and
I,
hate.
Shirley Murdoch. It's morning.
As we
Yeah.
lay.
As we lay.
She knew it. Yes, we've stolen this moment.
Mm-hmm.
We forgot to face one simple fact. We both belong to someone else. Like, you already knew. And after it was over with, then now it says you knew before.
Okay.
You already knew.
So
Yeah,
you said
but the thing, but the compromise and the compromise and the intentional
deception.
deception was
Mm-hmm.
you belong to me for just one night. Okay, you know, you got years with this person. Ah, what's one night? They won't miss it. I would never want to hurt her. She'd never understand. It's zero understanding when it gets to that.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And
The only
vice
one
versa.
and so the only one that I the only one that I see that came out that worked out fine was when you realize it and you respond to it correctly, then you don't have to worry like was what kind of man would I be if I lived unfaithfully, and what kind of girl would you be if you did the same?
I
You're
love
like, we
that
can't do
song.
this.
Yeah.
We can't do this. We simply can't. You know, it was like, okay, he put on his big man drawers and said, I'm not gonna do this because I know what happens at the end. I know what the
Mm-hmm.
outcome is going to be. I have foreseen in the future, and this is what's going to
Yeah.
happen. Because if we lay down tonight, it won't justify in our lover's eyes.
Okay.
No matter
You
how
gotta
we
put
feel, no matter
like
how bad we want this, it
describe Book
The
of
Book of
Revelation.
Revelations.
right?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Now I said self-described Book of Revelations. You know what's coming.
you know what's coming, but do you figure out? Do you factor in the risk of it happening? You know,
Mm,
since it's the Christmas season, we're gonna go to
okay.
Christmas Carol. Ebenezer Scrooge. When the ghost of Christmas, the ghost of
Future.
Christmas
Past.
passed.
Okay.
Pass.
The ghost of Christmas past came and showed him, you know, where he came from, and what what it was. It's like at one point in time, it was like, oh man, this reminiscent. Oh, this feels so good. This is nice. And then here comes the ghost of Christmas present. The ghost of Christmas present, and you see, okay, oh, this is what they think of me. Oh, really? Wow. Oh, I didn't know this was going on in their life,
Mm,
and I'm doing this. Okay, now the
Mm-hmm.
Ghost of Christmas Future, which is the Grim Reaper,
mm-hmm.
basically, comes and he shows you, and right when you start seeing the outcome, it's like, oh well, Spirit, can these events not be changed? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like now you want to sit up and start. Now you want to sit up and start reconsidering once you start, when you really get to almost feel the outcome of what these things are, and this is gonna happen. Oh no, don't be scared now. You kind of had an idea of what this was gonna be anyway.
Hey, J. Candy, good morning.
There you go. Hold up. You know I gotta sit up there and give my boy one of them, man. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Jay Candy in the building. LaShonda in the building.
You have a
Leroy,
comment
man, I'm
from
glad you're doing
Leroy.
good.
You said, oh, so you
Already.
see in the comments, right?
Yeah, I'm
All
seeing the
right.
comments, man. I'm looking, I'm dashing in and out.
It is not about the pursuit of the unknown that makes it useless, but the pursuit of the known that makes the pursuit useless. Some are self-deceivers when it comes to the outcomes of chaotic situations due to misconceptions that they can get away with the pursuit. Thank you.
There you go.
Man, there you go.
Thank you.
I mean, in a nutshell, to me, I think in a nutshell, it's not seeing past what you want, and you want it so bad that you just Yeah, I'm going for it. You know,
Exactly.
Deal with the consequences
yeah.
when they
I'll
come.
deal with the consequences later. It's like taking home the Magua, fool. Like, you know, the doggone. I tell you what, man, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna take care of it. I ain't gonna get it wet. I ain't gonna feed it after midnight. And then I got
That's
this.
turned out to be terrible.
And then look what happened.
Yeah. Jay
Yep.
Candy say y'all just keep giving that good game.
Hey, you got to, man. You got to.
Okay, so it would be selfishness, right? To pursue
Thank you.
something that is a useless pursuit.
You said it would be what?
Yeah,
Selfish?
it is.
Selfishness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely selfish.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I mean,
Fred.
think about it like he used a Christmas Carol, right? Christmas Carol in a nutshell is sin leads to death.
In a nutshell, yeah.
Because you got Christmas past, present, and future, which leads to his death if he don't change his ways.
Well, it was basically him going to hell. It was basically him going to hell because he was like, okay, who's like, okay, well, who lies here? And he shows the tombstone, and then he shows him the tombstone. It's like, okay, here. So he kind of already knew what was going on, but he really didn't start fidgeting and getting all scared and stuff till he seen that coffin burning in the bottom of that 6 feet grave. Because I mean,
Candy says like we're exempt from the known consequences, and I can agree with that. We do a lot of things like it's this not gonna happen to me. We do.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
there is
exactly.
a movement
I was
where
going
we
to say
get
that too.
idea. That idea comes into play. This won't happen to me.
Yeah.
Well,
we
the
said
thing
that
is,
before.
you got 50 billion. You got 50 billion people that done tried it and failed, but it's gonna go right for you.
Yeah, but it's gonna go
That
right. Oh, that ain't gonna happen to me. Yeah, you know. I had one person. I remember one time I told somebody. This is a little off course, but to go with what you said about they said it's not gonna happen to them. I had one person I said, what happens in the darkness will always come to the light. And they looked me dead in my eyes and said, no, it won't. I was
good
like,
question,
good Lord.
Jay Candy. He says, how do you cope with the inner conversation we all battle with when it comes to ultimate decision?
That's easy.
I believe. Go ahead, Frederick. No, I was about
I want to hear you first.
to say, I believe we covered this in another episode when we were saying know thyself. You know, be truthful with yourself. But go right ahead.
Also gotta, most of us have been taught right from wrong. So the only way you're dealing with the inner turmoil to go and do that wrong thing is to dismiss everything you've been taught. Because you know how this is going to end deep down inside. But you're special. 50 million people have tried it, but it's going to work for you. You're going to somehow pull out the win. I don't think so. I mean, if you know what the Bible says, you know what mom and daddy taught you, and then you turn around and go and do the opposite. Okay, that's like saying, I can go take this test without studying. I'm going to pass with 100. I don't know the information. I don't know the class. I'm going to ace this test. There ain't no inner turmoil in that. That's self-deception.
Okay,
that's the cause I'm me concept. Bro, how you think you gonna pull that off? How else, fool? Cause I'm me.
I've heard that. So basically, it's just knowing right from wrong and learning to choose right. Choose right.
Correct.
That's how you.
But
and
again,
again,
honey shall he eat, that he may choose the good and refuse the evil.
Proverbs.
No.
Proverbs.
That's in Isaiah. And it's talking about.
I read a proverb last night.
It's talking about prophetic food. And it's butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know to choose the good and refuse the evil.
Okay.
So you must choose the good and refuse the evil. That is an active process. So as he was saying, a part of the inner man, the inner thought process, choose the good, refuse the evil.
Yeah, like what we talked about last time too. Another example was like jealousy. When we talked about jealousy, when you have to look deep down in yourself. So let's say you see like one of your partners say like he having a show and he doing his thing and you look and you scroll past it because you sometimes get like this feeling like they probably doing better than you or
We just
whatever,
mentioned
instead of choosing
that
to,
today.
yeah, instead of choosing to hit that like or put that heart in there, you choose to keep scrolling because on the inside that inner turmoil is whooping your behind, telling you, hey, you supposed to be doing that, but you chose not to work, you chose not to do this. And then so what are you going to do? Now you're left with that decision. Are you going to give in to that jealousy, or are you going to bow down and say, yeah, man, not really bow down, but are you going to be like, you know what, man, I'm happy
Humble
for this
yourself.
person
Humble
and let me
yourself.
fight. You're going to humble yourself and you're going to fight against that other side of you telling you to be a hater, and you're going to go ahead and hit that you're going to go ahead and put that heart up there, and you're going to put that comment
It's the battle
because
between
it's
spirit
the
and
battle
flesh.
between your spirit and flesh.
So J.
You know what I'm
Candy
saying? So,
also says the enemy works on the mind, which controls emotions. How do we conquer the battle daily? It's a
Oh,
spiritual battle daily
mhm.
between.
that is easy.
Go ahead.
It's hard to go through, easy to work out. The reason that you will go and follow your inner mind is because your inner mind is just like you ever heard of, you had like a runaway imagination and you sitting there and you daydreaming on something and you feeling real good about that daydream. You know it's impossible, but for a moment you want to let loose of reality and roll with the daydream because it looks good, it's tempting, it's awesome, it's great. There is no outside consequences to that daydream until you actually try to apply it to your life. Now, once you try to apply that daydream to your life, now you're going to have a whole slew of problems. The inner battle is a simple one. Tell yourself the truth whenever you imagine something wrong. When you imagine something wrong, remind yourself of the consequences of those actions. When you imagine doing something evil, remind yourself against the consequences of those actions. When you want to do something that you think is not so bad and it's a gray area, remind yourself the consequences of those actions. As long as you keep telling you the truth and what's going to happen, you will avoid it at all costs.
Well then, and we do a show of consequences.
And repercussions for them actions. Yes, we sure did. We for
We sure
darn sure
did.
did.
And
Yep.
that goes in hand with the useless pursuits. Stop
Mhm.
lying to yourself. Stop deceiving yourself into believing uh, the false. What is it?
You just say
But we need
they lie so much they believe it. So you ever told
Yeah.
somebody when they tell you something? You ever? I don't know. You heard me say this before, and a couple other people heard me say this too. Like when they tell me something that I know is a lie, and I look at, it, I be like, you ain't even believe that.
yeah, and that's the
Like
truth.
you ain't even believe that. Yeah, quit trying to lie to
What is
yourself. It's the
that?
one
I
thing
don't
that
know
you
what that
can't do.
is. Jay
I
Candy
It's
say
mean,
the Pootie Tang
called being
belt.
a
No,
liar.
he has a comment. He says the Pootie Tang belt effect. What is that?
okay, I guess that movie Pootie Tang. He said the Pootie
Mhm.
Tang belt effect. See, I never really watched that movie, but I think I have
Well,
a
I'm
idea of what he
old
was.
school. I'm old school, and I can tell you that if you go and get the Pootie Tang, the Most High gonna bring the belt. So that's the only part I can
That's
understand.
what he said.
Nah, I think
I don't
he's
think that's
probably
what
talking
he
about. Nah, that ain't what he getting at. I think he getting at that thing with the
Well,
bumper thing with the
only
movie.
unversed in
said.
people's way
Okay.
of thinking. So
Cause in that movie, Pootie Tang was supposed
Yeah.
to be like a hero or like a fictional
I
hero in that movie or
can't
whatever.
remember the
So
details of that movie, but I'm gonna have to go
yeah,
back and watch it so I can understand what that is. The Pootie Tang belt effect. Okay. Oh my
but I know
goodness.
about the belt Pootie Tang.
Okay, so those consequences of those actions, these useless pursuits, what we were saying was stop lying to ourselves and deceiving ourselves before we make a decision. Okay, he said he had a memory of his dad when he wanted to steal. Awesome. Okay. Okay, that's awesome.
hmm
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Oh, well, see, that's the other way it works. When you have good teachings and it's instilled in you, like my teacher used to say, when I went to go do this, I heard your words. The way it happens is when you, I don't know about other races, but I know about being black and getting a butt whooping. So you can consider your child as a little phonograph record, and you put the needle in the groove, right?
Mhm.
Now each groove is made by an ass whooping. So you take all those ass whoopings, and now you have a record, a complete record. So each time that child attempts to go and do anything against that butt whooping, when they are grown and that butt whooping is no longer present, that groove creates a bad feeling or an unction of undesired result. So you, oh man, I got a bad feeling about this. I don't know, man. Something ain't right about that. I can't do that. That's why the Bible says, train a child the way he should go. When he's older, he shall not depart from it. So each one of those grooves is that butt whooping creates an unction inside of you that will not allow you to complete your thought process and bring it into reality.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. So basically, it's not just telling a child don't touch it, it's hot, you'll burn yourself. They actually go and touch it and learn that it's hot. And okay, so it's that engraved memory. Okay, I get
Correct.
it. I get it. I get it.
Will produce a physical response.
And I was just about to say that for
your mom and daddy didn't want you to do, and you getting ready to do it, and you start shaking because you know what's coming.
I haven't had that effect. Nah.
So now we back into self-deception. You start shaking before you get to go do the deed because you know.
You already know.
I don't know about pootie tape.
You already know.
Belt.
Nah. I mean, because let's just throw out even cheating. We're gonna put and that this is a widespread pandemic out here. Man, y'all are amazing. Thanks for that platform with great wisdom. You are so welcome, Jay Candy. Thank you.
Brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's throw out cheating, because we all know the consequences of cheating, but that don't stop people from doing it.
Well, cheating is simple. You're gonna lose in the end.
Man, you know what? I'll say this after you
slice it. It don't matter how you slice it. It's like Eve with the fruit. It looks good and it's pleasing to the eye and suitable and edible. But once you eat it, there you got the consequences of your actions. It always ends wrong when you disobey and do what you know to be wrong.
Yeah, that's it. You can get deceived you can get deceived. Okay, one of the things that I want to point out about that is, let's be honest. Most of the time when people cheat, it's premeditated. You've already started to train yourself that you're ready to lose the person or the one that you're about to cheat on.
So they
because you've already started processing, you compromising in your head. I'm ready to lose this for this. I'm ready to lose this for this. So you see what that person might be getting ready to offer you, and it's like, okay, well, I see this in this person, and I know what to expect from what I got at home, and I know that they're not going to do this, or they might not do this, and you see what's new and what it is you want to pursue. So you already, because of what's new is in front of you, and what, like that fruit start tasting good, and it's different from what you have. So you start processing in your head the reasons why I'm ready to lose this. And it's only until you lose it that's when it, that's when it gets at you, and you're like, dang, you know what, I was wrong about that. Once again, you go back to the whole, oh, it ain't gonna happen to me. And once it does, it was done in the dark, and now it's coming to the light. You've already I don't want to say well, you put it in your head that, hey, I'm ready to lose this for this.
When you really
that's
not.
one thing that make people, you really ain't. You deceived yourself that I'm ready to lose this. Well, shoot, if they find out I got this over here and it was worth it, but it really wasn't. That's that self-deception.
Well, see, that goes to that "It Wasn't Me" song. I mean, it's stupid. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Shaggy.
Yeah. Oh, now you sorry. You ain't sorry because you did it. You sorry because you got caught.
Because you got caught.
Yeah, it ain't that. I wrote a poem about it.
But then it's always some clown tell you bad advice, like Shaggy. Well, just tell
Yeah,
him what you.
tell him what. Just say what you like. How in the world? And this is the thing. How in the world is that supposed to? How is that supposed to work? It goes back to, dude, you ain't even believe that. How in the world is that supposed to work when you know you did exactly what you saying you didn't do? You know that, so you can't lie to yourself. You know, that's just all it is to it. And it comes from, we'll go back to self. We'll go back to deceiving, that unintentional and intentional deception, because it's like, I can do this. I'll get away with it. I don't need that. And I'm not going to even act like I'm sorry. And then it rolls into pride, and then you done created this big snowball. Not only is it going to hurt you in the end because you pursued something you wasn't even supposed to be pursuing, but now it hurts the other person involved. So, and to me, I'll take it like this too. Useless pursuance, and I got to kind of go to the law or the word of God when we talk about this. Like, a lot of people look at sin like, I think a lot of people look at sin like, oh, this was here because you don't want me to do it. No, that's not it. Like when they say, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet. It's like some people, when you look and they say, oh, they just put that there. It's good for them to do it, but it's not good for you to do it or whatever. No, it has a mass effect. And when I use the term mass effect, that just doesn't affect you. It affects everyone around you. So like I said before, I think I made this example here, but I'm gonna do it again because we got new listeners and people tuning in, and I want them to catch this. The reason why sin is what sin is, and when you study sin and why it is, so let's take thou shalt not steal. We'll just take that one for right now. Thou shalt not steal. Let's say I got $1,000 and I needed this $1,000 for one of my loved ones' surgery. And somebody might have needed a kidney or whatever. So I got this money, and I'll go to the bank, and I tried to be as discreet as I could, but somebody saw me take $1,000 and some change out the bank, and I get robbed. This dude don't know why I have that $1,000. The only thing he knows is he wants to pursue somebody to take what isn't his. So now I get this. Now this $1,000 is gone, and it's gonna hold up this process. If not hold it up, it's gonna pretty much cancel it. And whoever I had it for might not get this treatment. Might not get this treatment in time, and they die. You know what I'm saying? Either that, or they do the subject, or they do the procedure or whatever, and then now something else happens to where now I owe this much more money, and something else happens to some. Now I can't buy my children this because now I'm $1,000 in the hole, all because somebody wanted to be greedy and steal something. Like if you sit up there, you stole somebody's woman. Then this is one thing. Like I go to the music, like we like one of the only genres. I was racist. They had that doggone stuff where they feel like it's cool to start taking somebody's baby mama. You done seen so many times where this dude probably worked real hard to try to please, provide for his family, provide for his woman or whatever. And then so he come home one day and unannounced, this dude in there, and he walk in on him and his woman, and they doing some stuff. And now this dude that didn't even really deserve this, well, a lot of things can happen. So like he lose it, pulls out his gun, go D'Angelo on him. You know what I'm saying? Go D'Angelo on him, and then now they had kids. So now this child don't have his mama. This child don't have his father because Pop probably finna go to jail for something that he was a victim of, and all because this dude want to sit up and be selfish and say, I want your woman. And you go in there and you disrupt the family. Useless pursuit. Go find your own.
And vice versa.
Drink from thine own cistern. Drink from thine own cistern.
So those it wasn't there for it. Sin wasn't described in the Bible for no reason, man. It's the reason. It causes a mass effect.
I agree with that. J. Candy says, I failed and dealt with the consequences and still dealing with it because that's consequences. It's a long apology and not just one simple, quick apology, and it goes away. In other words,
Yep.
he's still paying the piper.
Well,
Yeah,
you ever heard of the term broken?
Do what now?
You ever heard of the term broken?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think happens when you go and do something you're not supposed to do? You're leaving the Most High no choice but to break you. You're like a twig. And if you're getting a lot of water, if he bends you, you won't break because you've been doing the right thing. You've been absorbing the water for so long. You're like a strong new tree, like a vine. Now you go outside in your yard and you got this fresh green looking tree and you just try to snap one of the branches, they won't snap because they're full of water.
Okay.
Now you go to that old dead tree that's been doing the wrong thing for so long and you snap one of them branches, pop.
It ain't even gonna take that. You don't even have to put that much force to it either.
No, it's just gonna snap.
It's
If you got no right in you, it's easy to break you. If you got a lot of right in you, you're gonna bend. You're not gonna break, but you're gonna feel like you've been broken.
What y'all think the people on First 48 be doing when they be in the room, that interrogation room? They be the one that did it, and whenever they break, what the first thing they do? They cry. I had a life. I didn't mean to do it.
You get rid of what little water you had.
You do what now?
You get rid of what he said they cry. You get rid of what little water you had left.
You get rid of what little water you had because you done broke. You done broke. It's like you can't. It ain't nothing you can do now. Like that's it. Like and you start and they start crying. That's what they always do.
They cry for punishment. So they get rid of what little water they had left. So when they go to jail, they get broken, and they call that buck breaking back in the day in the slavery times because you're gonna get broken, buck.
Yep.
And all this from useless pursuits that we are aware of. In the end, these consequences gonna harm us.
It's not gonna happen to me. Why? Because I'm me.
It wasn't me.
Or it wasn't me.
Yeah, but then when it does happen, it wasn't me. But you was high and mighty at
we
first.
got you on camera.
Wow.
Nah, man.
I love it, y'all. I love it. I love it.
Useless
pursuits. Yeah, now see, it's not just relationships, it's not just careers, as we stated, it's even material items. What did you say?
But let's go into jobs because you wanted to hit that.
Hear that.
Now, like I was saying before, I took the job that I took, and the Most High brought me to this little podunk town, and I was pursuing the money. But what that job took from me, first of all, I was always at work. And even my boss would come over after work, so I was never leaving work in my head. So I was losing my sanity. It's a really racist town, so I had no black people to talk to. And the ones that were here, they're of the mindset that these white people have created in them. Now, I'm not trying to be racist or bring up that issue, but what I'm bringing up is the mindsets of the people around you. So if you're an outsider and you're coming in and you believe that you can do anything that you put your mind to and everything, and then you're surrounded by people that have been beat down and oppressed, you're going to have a clash of ideologies. So you ain't going to find no friends that you can confide in because they're going to look at you as an outsider. It's just like that whole gang thing. Well, you ain't from around here. So we're going to attack you and beat you because you ain't from around here. And so anything you try to do is going to fail because you ain't from around here. And then so no matter what you do when it comes to a job, you have to look at the fact that, okay, what is this company actually known or proven to be a good company to work for? Just because they offer you a lot of money don't mean it's a good company. How many times have you heard, oh, this company is awesome, this company is great, and you go there and it's everything you hate?
Work for one of those.
One?
But I understand.
Was it Trilogiant?
No, it wasn't Trilogiant.
Was it Trilogiant?
No.
Oh, boy, I'm just kidding, man. Oh,
no,
boy.
but I understand what he's saying. Because, me personally, I wanted to work for this company for a good majority of my life. I mean, I held this company up high And when I started working for them, I started seeing a lot of things that I just did not agree with. It did not sit right with me in my spirit. But the money was right as well. And I couldn't do it.
Oh, the money be awesome. The money is always
it's
awesome.
always awesome. You know.
But the impact on you as a person is always hell.
I agree. Now, you mentioned earlier, FD, that you wanted to talk about useless pursuits in gangs.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Okay. What are these people pursuing when they want to get into a gang?
It's supposedly family.
Notoriety. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. You don't get family. You get a bunch of people telling you what to do. And it's a pyramid structure. So you got the OG, and then you got you foot soldiers. So how are you getting family when your base parent or the OG is supposed to be leading you in ways that are constructive, that will build you up, that will help you, that will make you into a better person? That's what the OGs do, or parents do. So your OG is putting you out on the line so he don't get caught.
Yeah, didn't we discuss this before? Something similar? Loyalty. We talked about this last week in loyalty. Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, so now you're sitting here caught up because you can't get out. Because anytime you enter into a contract or a covenant, you can't get out of it. So you can take a job and you can get out of that job. But when you enter into a covenant, an agreement with people that are willing to enforce that agreement with force, now you got a problem.
That's that
so
blood in, blood out, right? Okay.
Correct. So now you're going to threaten me and everything I got because I entered into your game that you forced me into. That's just crazy in and of itself. How can there be any glory when you know it's wrong before you get started? You know it's wrong while you're doing it. And you know it ain't going to end well when you end up in prison. And now we're talking about a whole different way of looking at things once you finally get into prison. And then you get into prison, so now you got to stay with the gang, because if you ain't with the gang, you're going to get killed. Whereas when you wasn't in prison, you had choices. You could have moved. You could have taken a job.
Not always.
You could have done a whole different thing. Oh, really? How?
Not always, because I mean, you have to think about some of these people that end up in gangs are young, and like you said, are forced into it. They're in a situation where they're unable to move around, get a job, things like that. It's not always as cut and dry, I would say.
Okay. Well, you do remember my childhood, correct?
No.
Certain portions of it.
Yeah.
Well, when I was where I didn't want to be, I ran away and kept running away until I had the ability to stay away.
Okay, but again, as I say, it's not always
not
cut and dry.
I understand that, but it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
There's always a way out. I mean, you read your Bible just like I read mine. The Bible says that the Most High makes the way out for everybody.
This is true.
You have to pursue your way out. There is always a way out of any bad thing before you get in too deep. So your job is to find your way out. Most people won't look because they want to go and do that thing. Most people won't seek because they want to go and do that thing. They're looking at all the pros, none of the cons.
Or just,
and then when they
or possibly just focusing on the natural, not knowing the spiritual. Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's say, like you said, I live in this neighborhood, my mama poor, I can't go nowhere. Okay, I have some options, because that's exactly where I live.
Okay.
I can run the hell away. I can call my grandma or my uncle and see if I can come stay with them on the farm, or whatever it is that you need to do to get the hell up out of there. Now, the first thing you could do is pray and get an answer from on high.
Also, remember, keep in mind, I said not everybody know the spiritual. So
Correct.
okay, go ahead.
That's why I didn't lead with the spiritual. I started with find a way out. Okay. For some of these young folks, depending on their age, they join the military. It's a way out.
Okay, but see, we're talking about an age group now from 17, 18 up. Now, keep in mind that also there are younger ones in gangs.
Okay, do they tell their parents?
That doesn't always work.
Do they tell their parents?
That doesn't always work.
I told my parents and it didn't work, so I ran away from home.
Okay.
And kept doing it until I was out. I'm not saying there's always a way out. It may not be the most pleasant path to pursue.
All right.
It may not be the most pleasant path to pursue, but it is better than death. And sometimes you got to go to jail to have the ability to do right.
Okay.
When you come from wrong, from grandma, grandpa, they all OGs, they making all these calls. Sometimes you have to, one of the biggest ways out that these children are learning is academically. You got some of these children that come from these gangs and all this other stuff, they're brilliant. They go get a little scholarship to this school and it causes them to leave home. They go and pursue this and it causes them to leave home. There are so many things out there right now where you can get the hell away from your parents because the world is pursuing that.
I'm sorry. Jay Candy says age doesn't make a person grown. There are 30 plus with toddler mentality for real. Agreed.
Well, I used to always have this argument with these old guys, and they say, because I was usually the young one in the conversation because I always made friends with people that are way older than me. And the first thing they would say, well, you don't get old by being no fool. I say, yeah, they also ain't no fool like an old fool.
Yes.
So you have to look at the fact. And you can't let people lead you into something that's not going to work for you because everybody is a different individual. That's why I say you have to find your way out of your circumstances. It's not going to work for Paul. It's not going to work for George, but there's a way out that's specifically designed for you. And even if you don't want to get spiritual about it, it still holds true. It is a universal norm or a universal law. We're all individuals and everybody can choose their own path.
So I'm gonna go out on this and say just because it may look hard, because some people.
Oh no, it will be hard.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Some people won't make that choice because making that choice will be too hard for them. So they take an easier route to prevent, the outcome of that hard decision. Okay.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead, Joe. Go right ahead, Joe.
Okay. I just want to piggyback on what you said. Okay. To elaborate on what you said, what people want. Problems have solutions. All problems have solutions, which coincides with what Frederick said was there's always a way out.
Okay.
The solution that's given to you don't look feasible. I don't want that. I don't want that solution. There has to be another way. But usually the first way that's given to you, if you listen to your spirit, is the right way. You already know, like, that's what it is. Okay, so like the solution or the problem is if I don't pay this money, I'm gonna lose my car. Okay. The solution is pay the money. But you don't want to pay the money because you can't go get the new Jordans. I'd rather go get the new Jordans. I'm gonna go get these new Jordans. And then it's like, so now that you done sit up there and say, if I do this, so let's say, okay, let me think. Maybe let's do this here. I get this other check next week. I can go ahead and get these Jordans, and they gonna come right in the middle. It's gonna be right on time. But then when that wound up falling through, and that bad boy didn't go, that money didn't come in that account on the time that's in. Now you're outside with your brand new Jordans on, looking for your car. Because you wanted an easier solution. Okay. You wanted an easier solution, and you tried. See, that's the reason why you in the fix you in now is because you already tried to solve what wasn't meant for you to solve right then and there. And that solution came real quick. It's easy. Go ahead and pay what you need to pay. Quit trying to negotiate.
I've heard people say, well, hold on. Rochelle says falls under the business of being grown. You're right.
Yep.
It does. I've
That's under
heard
the
people
business of
say,
being grown.
I have a bill or something, but I'm not going to be broke. I refuse to be broke. That's that, so I get what you're saying. Or either having the latest pair of Jordans is more important than paying your car note. You believe you can
And that
float
was
it on.
just, yeah, and that was just a light example. I just use that as a light example because it
Well,
also
we want
stems into like relationships too. Like that stems into relationships too. Like you tired of this, you tired of this dude cheating and beating on you and stuff like that. The solution is get the heck out. But now y'all know some of you women, y'all know the reason why y'all stay.
I
Y'all
love
know
him.
why y'all
Did you
y'all
just
know why y'all keep going back.
say I love me some him?
And yeah, he just, y'all know the reason why. But the solution is
That's
when
not
that joker,
always
the
the case.
solution is when that joker sleep, start moving your
That's not
stuff
always.
and get.
Hey,
I
I know,
get
but
what
I'm
you're
just saying
saying,
but
but that's
there's
not
different
always
things.
the
But that's
case.
what I'm saying. The solution is this. But then you start trying to rationalize with the fact maybe they'll change. Maybe if I try to help them get this help, then they won't beat me no more. They won't, you know what I'm saying, or they won't do this, or they won't
We're
cheat
gonna
on me no more.
have to do a show on this. We're gonna have to do a show on this.
That's
What are you saying, Frederick?
I say that's intentional deceptions.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
It goes back
it
to
is.
intentional deception. But my point was making it is you have the solution already. The solution is get away. But the rationalization of
Mm-hmm.
yourself is maybe if I wait it out, you start thinking about everything
Mm-hmm.
else, but to avoid the solution that you're supposed to take.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, as I was stating the same thing about gangs, it's not always that cut and dry. Not always that cut and dry.
Nothing is cut and dry.
You say,
Nothing is cut and dry.
mm-hmm.
The issue is there is a way out. And like Chosen said, you already know. Or you could even, before you join a gang, you have to ask yourself, am I going to want to get out? Now, if you're being forced into one, then you can bide your time and wait till there is an opportunity to get out. If you go on and you look at a lot of these shows, these people found ways out.
Same thing with domestic violence. You do have to
Correct.
sit back and be smart about that move you make. You have to be, because as we state, consequences and repercussions for your actions. But like I said, we'll have a show about that, and we'll go more into that. Let's go. We have 5 minutes, so let's wrap up our useless pursuits bullet points. Frederick.
Well, the biggest thing about useless pursuits is, am I pursuing something that's going to hurt me? Am I pursuing something that's going to give me loss or gain? If it's a loss and it's something you don't need to lose and can't afford to lose, then it's a useless pursuit. You never seek your own harm.
Okay.
That's my
Chosen.
wrap up.
That's your wrap up. Chosen.
Useless pursuits. Not seeing past what it is you want and saying, oh, this ain't gonna happen because I'm me. Oh, it's me. I got it. It ain't gonna happen. I got this. And it just be falling. And when you don't achieve this or you mess it up, it don't just affect you. It's a mass effect. It affects the people that's around you. And you should be really, you shouldn't be selfish when you are trying to pursue these things that will eventually cause not just yourself but people around you harm.
All right.
That's pretty much my wrap up.
All right. Well, thank you for joining Coffee and Convo today. Our topic was useless pursuits. I hope you learned something and take it on your next level.
Right.
Enjoy your Sunday. Love you. Hope to see you next week.
And Merry Christmas. We won't see y'all again
Yay.
before Christmas. So y'all have a happy holiday and we'll see y'all afterwards.
All right.
God bless.